Welcome to Black and Gold Breakdown on ESPN Radio 1037. For the next 60 minutes, join Jeff Brown and Kryder, the ultimate sports fan, as they break down all things Steelers related, along with discussing anything and everything happening in the world of sports. They will take your calls at 814-867-9287. Now, here's Black and Gold Breakdown on ESPN Radio 1037.
Alrighty, we're back, and first of all, I gotta thank you for playing the Alice Cooper version, not the Flaming Monkey Butts or whatever version you might have come up with. It's actually a version I knew. That's nice of you. I appreciate that.
I did that just for you, brother.
Because I'm an old man. That's right. Welcome to Black and Gold Breakdown with Brown and Kryder. We're glad to have you along. It's all brought to you by Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships, celebrating 40 years of service to the community, home of the $1,000 lowest price guarantee. Blaze Alexander Family Dealerships has a vehicle to fit your budget and transportation needs with 19 locations throughout Pennsylvania. Yep, school's out, camp's over. What are we going to do now?
Yeah, it's the slow period, so I guess that's why we're not going to focus a whole lot today just on the Steelers. Found some other tidbits that I thought would be amusing and fun to talk about. One of the things I did notice, though, is the fact that, does it strike you weird that they're plugging Kenny Pickett in to be the third-string quarterback right now when all that logic went into drafting him because he's the most pro-ready and he had 49 starts at Pitt? Like, that goes back to what I had thought, which was, if you're going to have somebody sit for at least a year or whatever behind Trubisky, wouldn't you shoot for the moon and maybe take the quarterback with the most potential to be a grand slam home run than what they're doing? It just seems kind of weird now. Or draft somebody else and wait for a quarterback next year.
Can I answer yes and no?
Sure.
Okay. First of all, yes, your final logic is correct. That I wish they would have waited until there was a better quarterback class, but they didn't. But does it bother me that he's third string? No, because this doesn't amount to a rat's butt. I'm telling you, when the season starts, he's either going to be the starter or he's going to be second string. And I hope he's second string for a while. I wouldn't mind seeing him do the Aaron Rodgers thing, not as long as Aaron Rodgers, but I think it'd be great if Mitch Trubisky played lights out for 2 years and Kenny Pickett sat and watched and got his feet wet and came in blowout games and stuff like that. I don't see that happening, but no, him being third string right now, I think that would be a direct slap in the face to Rudolph, and putting him Pickett second and Rudolph third. That would be kind of a nasty thing to do. I think everybody knows, including Mason Rudolph, that he ain't going to be around. But why point it out? So I think they're just being nice.
Okay, I can live with that. I hope you're right.
I think so. Yeah.
How about Juju? Does a little signing. I guess I read he had like 3,000 pieces of memorabilia that was unsigned or whatever. So he put out the notice. I forget what he charged, $20-$30, and then all the money went to a charity and stuff. And they said
that's pretty nice.
People were lined up around the block, and he was taking pictures. And it's just weird because he had mentioned again, he could see a point in time where he'd come back. I just wish then stay. For a reasonable price. If if you're going to say those things, you're going to do these heartfelt things, and why not just stay? Like, I know, like, everybody needs a raise, but sometimes at the rate that they're paid, you really don't need that much more money. So if you really truly love a city the way you say you do, why don't you just stay?
Well, the cynical part of me says it's real easy to do that stuff when you've gotten paid and you're somewhere else. And then, you can say, hey, no hard feelings, Pittsburgh. I'd love to come back. But then you're going out and you're playing for bigger money with a better quarterback in Kansas City. I don't want to be cynical like that. I want to think that, and from all reports, other than a couple of stupid things he did, from all reports, he was a great teammate and he was really good for the city. So,
and he knocked out Von perfect.
Yeah. Oh, that was, he'll be a Steeler. He'll be an all-time Steeler just for that. Yeah,
agreed. What do you think about, are they doing the TJ Watt hold-in with Minka? In the OTAs, he didn't really practice in any team drills. He did his stuff on the side. So if that's a yay, how do you feel about that? Because how it irked me all summer last summer, so now I'm going to do it again. Like, what is this trend with the Steelers that they realized we're not going to, if they're going to do a hold-in, why didn't they do everything in their power to get the contract done now so that it doesn't happen? What's the song and dance, and why does it take so long to have it morph if this would go through training camp again until maybe the fourth game or he doesn't play at all? Like, I don't understand why this is happening.
See, and I'm with you on this. I don't get it, but I blame management. I don't blame the player. The last thing on earth he wants to do is some freak injury, and all of a sudden he's got no contract and all of that. And you know as well as I do, management is going to cough up the bucks, and they're going to sign him. So sign him now. Why do this? I think management is forcing him to do the hold-in, and it sounds like he's going to do the same kind of hold-in that T.J. Watt did last summer, which is T.J. Watt worked his butt off on the sidelines. He ran with the guys. He did everything except participate in the drills. And when he wasn't participating in the drills, he was in the end zone doing stuff, or he was lifting, or he's doing whatever. T.J. Watt did everything he possibly could at training camp.
Except take some hits.
And, again, Minka's a veteran. He knows what he's doing. He knows the system. So it doesn't bother me so much, but
I still think he didn't have the greatest year last year. I know we say that's because the Steelers' defense was so bad. He did some things more often than what he would have normally liked. But I still saw a regression a little bit in his playmaking ability last year.
Yeah. And who knows whether it was forced because nobody could make a tackle up the middle and he was leaning that way or what it might have been. But, yeah, I mean, he wasn't the Minka that he was when he first came over and was making those timely interceptions and big hits and stuff like that, but he's still one of the best safeties in the league. He deserves to be paid like that. And management, come on, you got the bucks, you know you're going to do it now and get him in camp. It doesn't make any sense to me. It's just one of those things I don't understand.
So CBS Sports ranks old TJ and Cam as the 5th best duo in all of NFL, and it didn't just have to be players, it could be coaches as well. So they had them ranked 5th, right behind in 4th place Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, and then in 3rd was Aaron Rodgers and his coach LaFleur. In 2nd place was Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey, and then holding down the number 1 slot was Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. So what are your thoughts on that?
Wow. I don't get the Allen Diggs one. I really don't. Yeah, they're a good combination.
Joe Burrow and his wide receiver was right behind Cam and TJ.
Yeah, see, okay, I get that. I guess what I'm looking at is A-Rod and LaFleur. I thought they feuded a bunch.
Didn't they kiss and make up before the season started, or did they only start to have that kumbaya as their season started to look good?
Zach, do you know inside stuff on that? What's the deal as far as them? I didn't think they were the best of friends.
Well, now he said he wants to play there forever. He said last week he had said that he wants to end his career in Green Bay.
Yeah, that's the funny part of it all is you don't know how much truth there is. I mean, if you sign a 4-year contract to stay in Green Bay, I know he's the highest paid quarterback in the NFL, but if you really hate somebody and despise your relationship that much with that person, you go to Denver. Somebody else was going to be willing to pay you X amount of money.
Right. But something's going on there. I mean, Devontae Adams, he has a chance to play with Aaron Rodgers, arguably one of the best in the game, definitely better than Derek Carr. And, Green Bay would have ponied up the money, but instead he chose to leave Green Bay in a great situation for who knows what in Las Vegas. There's something going on there, and nobody's talking about it, and I certainly don't know.
Because he wanted to play with Captain Jack Sparrow. I told you, Carr has that eyeliner on. He just wanted to play with a celebrity.
Maybe that's it, but there's something going on. I don't know. There's something going on in Green Bay, and I don't like the smell of it. So I don't agree with the A-Rod and LaFleur.
What's that cheese? It stinks sometimes.
The cheese had stayed out too long in the sun. But PJ and Cam 5th, yeah, okay, I'll give them that. Top 5.
So Pro Football Focus is not enamored with the reconfigured Steelers line. They rate the Steelers offensive line 30th out of 32 teams barely ahead of Dregs, Seattle, and Chicago's offensive lines. So surprising?
Pro Football Focus, and correct me if I'm wrong, is owned by Chris Collinsworth. Is that correct?
I mean, yeah, he's an investor.
Yeah. Okay. Because he kind of runs things. T. Frank worked for them for a long time, and Chris Collinsworth was always around his son and all that stuff. Chris Collinsworth hates the Steelers, and I don't
believe that.
Focus has always been just ragging on the Steelers. Anytime they get a chance to rag on the Steelers,
I thought he was pretty unbiased. I almost thought when I listen to Chris Collinsworth broadcast Steelers games, he seems to be more complimentary of the Steelers than negative, and that's why I mean, some people feel he's annoying or his voice or whatever, but like I always found it weird that people thought Collinsworth hated the Steelers, because when I listen to him broadcast those games, he's always more deferential to the Steelers, I thought, than critical.
Too many Bud Lights, too many Blue Stripes, Bubba. I'm telling you.
Come on.
You're missing it here. Yeah, he is. He's always got something on for the Steelers, and there was the big rivalry, and they always seem to beat the snot out of him. But
I think that's, whether it's 30th or not, I still think that's a fair estimation for the Steelers' offensive line. They threw a big contract out to Okorafor, which I don't know why they did that. You got, the guy coming in from the Vikings, Cole, who we're not really sure, was kind of just marginal at best for the Vikings. The guy they brought in from the Bears should be an upgrade, but we don't know what we're going to get from Dotson, and we don't know, how they're going to gel together. So they're probably in the bottom 25% of offensive lines in the league, I would guess.
I'll give them that, but third from the bottom, boy, I have a tough time believing that. I don't know that.
Now we're arguing over the size of the turd.
And Kendrick Green could push Kevin Dotson for that starting spot.
Yeah. Oh, you mean our the guy we drafted to play center, who only played center 3 times in all college, and now they realize that he was probably too undersized to play that position? That guy?
Now that's a front office pitch. That's not a player pitch, okay?
No, I'm just saying.
All right, just point. Nah, I don't agree with that. They're just 30th or 29th out of 30.
Does it matter if they're not good? Like 2 years ago, you said they couldn't get any worse, and they got worse in the offensive line last year. This year, I don't know how it could be any worse, right? No. I mean, what else could? I mean, they failed to give marginal pass protection to an immobile quarterback, and they opened no holes in the running game. So I don't know, unless they just opened up a revolving door and this year's quarterback gets sacked a million times, because that's the other dynamic is Ben got rid of the ball so quick because A, he couldn't move, and B, he didn't trust his line. So now if we have a quarterback who is nimble, will they try to hold on to the ball a little bit longer to create a play, and will there be more sacks of our quarterback now because of that and the line still not being good?
Or will it be tougher for defenses to defend against the Steelers because they're running all kinds of different gadget plays and the quarterback is moving around? I mean, defenses last year, let's face it, we talked about it on the show, they were just pinning their ears back. They knew what the Steelers were going to do. And, all they had to do was just play basic defenses to beat them. And I don't know. The line may not be, stellar this year. I doubt it. But they've got to be better just because of who's playing quarterback. And that could be any of the 3, by the way. Just because these guys are like I'll use your word, nimble. And they can run around and they can create some plays and they can run on their own. It's got to make that line better just because it's going to create some doubt in defense as to what the heck is going to be run.
Which side of the field they run the jet sweep to? And left to right or right to left?
That's right. We got to take a break. But we're looking for your calls at 814-272-9625. We are on ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450. It's Black and Gold Breakdown with Brown and Kryder.
Here's Black and Gold Breakdown on ESPN Radio 103.7. Want to get in on the action? Call the show at 814-867-9287.
And we're brought to you by Lewistown Subaru. If you've driven past Blaze Alexander Subaru in Lewistown and not seen any new Subarus, well, there's a reason for that. It's because almost everyone that comes in is right back out the door again. That's right. Most every new Subaru that comes in these days is sold by the time it gets there. So don't wait to see what you want. Come in now and know exactly what you want. Get it ordered. The process is easy. All you have to do is come in and tell them what you want, and they'll take care of business for you. You can get a new Subaru, even if you don't see it, at Blaze Alexander Subaru of Lewistown. Well, Pro Football Focus ain't real high on the Steelers line, but Coach Cowher's high on Mitch.
Yeah, he thinks that Mitch Trubisky is going to be a really good fit.
Mm-hmm.
He feels like the combination of mobility and the ability to push the ball down the field is gonna be a big difference from what we saw with the Steelers' offense last year. And I tend to agree with him. Like I'm not again a connoisseur of every pass Mitch Trubisky has thrown for the Bears. I know he had some accuracy issues, but I think that he could be serviceable at worst for the Steelers.
Yeah, and let's face it. Again, everybody's going to be looking at Kenny Pickett, and if Trubisky comes in and plays lights out, that's great for the Steelers. If he doesn't, well then. It's time for Pickett's charge, shall we say.
There you go.
And we'll go from there. So, yeah, I hope Bill Cowher's right. I really do. I've always liked Mitch Trubisky, and I thought he would be a great fit. I was glad when the Steelers signed him. And, I don't want to give Matt Canada any credit, but if his offense is what they're talking about and all he needed was a mobile quarterback, then we might be seeing some surprises.
Does it gall you?
Super Bowl, but surprises.
Does it gall you at all, though, that we now would try to be excited about a Steelers offense relying on misdirection and all those kind of pre-snap movements to confuse the defense? Do you not, revel for the days of lining up Jerome Bettis and running it down your throat and then throwing it to Hines Ward and Heath Miller? Like this whole concept of Matt Canada's offense is repugnant to me as a traditional Steelers fan.
Well, but you got to look at the NFL and the way it's being played today, and I'm sure that sometime the pendulum will swing back and the running game will be the thing, and then we can go back to Steeler football. But I think Steeler football, as we knew it, is a thing of the past. Although Najee Harris is going to keep us honest, he's still gonna run the ball, and he's still gonna run the ball effectively. But the Steelers, and like everybody else, going to be looking for the passing and seeing what they can get downfield. And it's just something we got to live with.
Fair enough, brother. Fair enough.
All right, question of the day.
Say it with an accent, too, like a very hoity-toity, his name for me.
All right, are you buying or selling that Presley Harvin III will have a solid second season?
I'm going to sell. I know his father passed away and he struggled dealing with that, and his grandmother passed away. I know that probably contributed to his focus and some of the terrible punts that he had, especially in the back half of the year. But I guess to counter that and say why I'm selling it is he had those same inconsistency issues in college. So I don't want to give full weight and merit to those personal issues last year. So I sell. I say he's going to be the same inconsistent punter they had the first year.
I tend to agree with you. But I didn't notice another punter on the roster. Did you? There's another.
No, they
kicker.
jettisoned the guy who was actually punting lights out. So
yeah,
Corliss Waitman, or whatever his name was.
I would love to have him back. He was great.
Yeah, no, I think I forget where he went. Vikings somewhere. I forget.
Yeah.
Somebody picked him up right away.
Vikings, I think you're right. Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't hold out a lot of hope there. Like, it's great when you're feast or famine, but almost in the punting situation, you get hurt more than you get benefit out of. Like that 65-yard boomer doesn't seem to benefit you as much as that 32-yard shank when you're on your own 14 and that ball goes out at the 38 or 41-yard line. You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
And we saw a bunch of those last year. Or the directional punting that you're trying to pin him inside the 10 and yours rolls into the end zone 5 times in a row. So it's a net gain of 21 yards. So I don't know. I mean, I hope I'm wrong. I wish him the best.
And this time last year, everybody was saying he can throw the ball. Oh, wait till you see this. He never
He ain't
threw
do
the
nothing.
ball. No, he never did anything. They didn't do anything to keep the defense honest. They just let him punt it. Sometimes it would be good. Most times it'd be average. Sometimes it would be bad. But what I was saying was, I looked at the full roster, and if I'm not mistaken, they have some no-name place kicker to come in, and I think they may have 2 of them to take the pressure off Boswell's leg in preseason and all that. I didn't see any other punters, so they are effectively handing the job to Presley Harvin III. Mummy. Wonder if he's going to name his
Thurston
kid.
Howell.
I wonder if he's going to name his kid Presley too.
The 4th.
It'll be the 4th. Yes. So we'll see what happens. But I would like to see them have something brewing in the kitchen other than Presley.
That's true.
Maybe Carlos will screw up and the Vikings will cut him.
So it now comes out. Our boy Deshaun Watson had 66 different massage therapists in a 17-month period.
That is insane.
Apparently, he was a fan of the small towel trick, where you get an extra small towel to cover your boy parts, so that they just happen to flop out or whatever, and when you're getting your massage. So I think there should be a rule that NFL teams should never hire a quarterback who has more therapists than touchdown passes in any given season. I mean, seriously, like
66. That's like that. I really shouldn't be laughing. That's a sickness.
Yeah,
that's a disease there.
And
Wow.
if Tom Brady got suspended 4 games for deflated balls, then we should see Deshaun Watson in 2037, right?
And it's the end of the Cleveland Browns as we know it. As I discussed,
I don't know.
He just
there was an article on ESPN today, or one of the threads, and it said that he still maintains that he did nothing wrong, but he is apologetic for the undue scrutiny that he's brought upon his family and his Browns for this situation, but he steadfastly denies that he ever had unsolicited sex or encouraged anybody to do anything that they weren't willing to do, which still leaves a lot of gray in there when you say anything that anybody was not unwilling to do.
66. You don't need, no one in the world needs 66. No one does. And the Browns were compliant with this. The Browns had to have done some research on this. So they had to have known. They were looking the other way, hoping this wouldn't come out. Deshaun Watson's lawyer had to have known this, and he didn't want anything to come out. I'm sorry. He may not have done anything technically illegal, but I think the very first time we talked about it, I said the NFL, this is a black eye, man. They're trying to get female fans. They're trying to market this, and how do you market Deshaun Watson and the Cleveland Browns after he's done all this? And I read some of the reports from some of the women.
Maybe like KY massage oils or something. He could be that. He could be the spokesperson.
Put a big sticker on his helmet. But some of the women who were talking about it, he was really rude. He was really nasty to them. And he may have been perfectly legal in the state that he was in. But
remember when Antonio Brown farted in his massage therapist's face? It was a dude or a chiropractor or something. That guy sued him for farting in his face.
And here's 66 women that he has tried to take advantage of. That's not a good look. And I don't care if it is technically legal. The NFL is setting themselves up for some serious PR misery. If he's not gone, I would say at least a year.
Well, you weren't here last week when we talked about his lawyer, Russ Harden, said that there's a lot of implied happy endings that come with massages, and happy endings aren't illegal if sex was not paid for. And then he had to walk that back to the best of his ability the next couple of days, because that left a lot then to be read between the lines, where people were saying, you're pretty much saying now that sex did happen, but it wasn't coerced.
Right.
And,
this guy's the worst attorney on earth. Aside from one, and I'm not going to name him, but this guy's bad. Deshaun Watson's worse. And the Cleveland Browns, if they don't have Deshaun Watson this year, that'll be 2 whole seasons that the man has not played. He's a great athlete. He's a great quarterback. But, man, that's a heck of a lot of rust you got to shake off. 2 full years of not playing competitively, and $237 million out the window, plus all those draft picks, and they're going to get, if he's suspended for a year, absolutely nothing out of him. And I don't see any way Baker Mayfield is ever going to say, oh, well, I'll fill in for you this year, guys, don't worry. So they're going to have a lousy quarterback. All of a sudden, the Steelers aren't going to have the worst quarterback in the division. The Browns will. This could be really, really bad for them this year and down the road when they don't have those picks and they're eating all that money.
Let's hope So until next time on the old show called Happy Endings, would the last remaining massage therapist not contacted by Deshaun Watson, please turn out the lights. But then again, you might want to leave them on if he's still in the room with you.
Absolutely, and hopefully it's not a glow lamp. All right, we got to take a break. It's Black and Gold Breakdown with Brown and Kryder on ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450.
Now, back to Black and Gold Breakdown on ESPN Radio 103.7.
We are back, and we'd like to have you with us, so give us a call at 814-272-9625, 814-272-9625, and talk some Stillers or whatever you want to talk about with us. Right now, though, we got to do Capping with Kryder, and it's all brought to you by Lion Country Kia. Don't buy just any pre-owned vehicle. You deserve a Kia-certified pre-owned vehicle from Lion Country Kia. So check them out today at 1334 Drabble Street behind Sam's Club in State College.
Another week, another winner.
Mm-hmm.
Last week I said...
You're in a roll. Man.
I am. I think I won 12 out of 13 now.
Jeez.
I said to take the old Fighting Phils on the road last week, getting a run and a half against the Brewers. They won outright 3-2, so that was a winner. Gonna stay with baseball tonight because I feel like I always want to be right today instead of waiting another day to be right. So I know that the hockey finals start tomorrow, so I was toying around with picking a series winner between the Lightning or the Avalanche. But I'm gonna stay in baseball because I want to be a winner tonight. So we're gonna take the Cincinnati Reds on the road, getting the 1.5 runs against the Diamondbacks.
All right, I'll take that. If you want a sure bet against the Pirates. Did they win today?
They had a doubleheader.
Straight.
They lost.
Of course, so that's 8 straight now.
Well, they play 2 today, so
and they're playing again tonight.
They can lose. They have the opportunity to lose twice in one day.
I turned on the TV last night just in time to see Chavis hit the 3-run homer, and I was like, 5-0. This is great. They're going to lose. That was my first thought. They're going to lose. They're going to find a way to screw this up in St. Louis. They always do. And son of a gun, they did. 7-5.
Dagnammit.
Wow. All right, so they're starting again, what, 7 o'clock or something like that?
Yeah, we're going to carry them at 7:20 here. That's when pregame starts. I don't know what there is to talk about.
The icy light mango they serve at the stadium.
No, they'll always talk, and this is what bugs me, and I understand from a broadcaster side of things, you don't have a whole lot to talk about on the field, so they talk about other stuff. But, man, they went on and on and on last night about, the Brian Reynolds bobblehead and the good old days when so-and-so was playing in the mid-'80s and the early 70s. And then every once in a while they say, ground ball to short, throw to first, end of the inning. And then they go back to all the good old days. And, hey, it's fun at the ballpark. Wow. I can't wait for a team that can actually be the main source of interest.
I feel ya.
Anyway, so I guess we got to move into the scouting report now.
Yeah, we're not really in the scouting report season, so I kind of grouped this with a topic we're going to do tonight for Sergeant Bob, which would be around the world.
That's right. It's brought to you by Sergeant Bob. If you need a great singer-songwriter with acoustical music for your wedding or special event, check out Sergeant Bob Timney at sergeantbob.rocks. Check out his site for veteran awareness info, testimonials. You can hear some music, some upcoming dates, and more. And he's a really swell guy.
He is.
All right.
So let's start. So the NCAA cracks down on excessive celebrations at the College World Series. I'm an avid college baseball fan, so I don't know if you've been watching, but they've been getting crazy. Virginia Tech was swinging sledgehammers after they hit home runs. Tennessee was actually putting fur coats on people and stuff, and it's just been getting more and more outlandish. So I'm glad that the NCAA said enough is enough. I hated the turnover chain and every derivative that came out of it. I just think it's grandstanding and it's poor sportsmanship. So I'm glad the NCAA cracked down.
Let's play the game and NFL football. I don't want to sound like an old fart, and I will, but I kind of miss the days when they scored touchdowns, and I didn't mind Willie White Shoes Johnson and stuff like that. That's okay.
Billy.
But did I say Billy?
You said Willie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, all right, Billy.
Billy.
But this whole thing of this whole choreographed things, or every time somebody makes a play, they've all got to run to the end zone and smile for the camera. Come on, that do your jobs. That big hit, that big stick, that big holding them on fourth down. That's why you get paid millions and millions of dollars, and you don't have to at every occasion just mug for the camera. I don't think.
Agreed, 100%. So Ohio State QB C.J. Stroud gets an NIL deal for a 2022 Bentley.
You knew this was coming. That it's going to get more and more outrageous. People are going to say, "Oh, money isn't enough now. We got to sweeten it with something else." So here you go, a 2022 Bentley. There, it used to be, and again, I'll sound like an old fart. It used to be if you saw a college athlete driving just a brand new anything, even if it was a brand new Ford Pinto or whatever, you kind of went,
wink, wink.
Oh, wait a minute, he's getting something under the table here. Now this guy is legally driving a 2022 Bentley.
Yeah, not a fan.
Not a fan either, and it's going to blow up. It's
Yeah,
really
it's
to blow up.
It's going to
It's not
unravel.
sustainable. Zach?
I mean, when does the salary cap come in? Because they're talking about how businesses can form a collective and give money that they allocate back to the student athletes.
Right.
Well, when's somebody going to say, well, why does the third string punter get the same as me, the face of the team, the starting quarterback? Because they're going to chop it up evenly and give it. So whatever the number that's been thrown around is $13 million. That a school would get $13 million towards the football team, and then the quarterback and everybody else would get $50,000 apiece. I don't know that math's even with all the kids on a roster of 85 or whatever, but so that's what it would be. You have $14 million, and you split it up, and everybody would get $50,000 apiece, and you will have higher collectives. So Appalachian State is going to put together, what, a couple million, whereas Ohio State is the one that named that number of $13 million. Oregon, USC, Penn State's trying to be in that group.
Well, it's not going to be a stagnant number. As soon as one school puts that number out there, then Georgia's going to say 14. I mean, it's going to be a bidding war for players, just like everything else is.
And then kids have it made, so then the collective gets higher, and then that average cost. But I'm saying, so when does C.J. Stroud, who's driving his Bentley, well, why does freshman who's filling my water jug, why is he getting $60,000 and I'm getting $60,000 from this collective? I want more. And I'm not saying necessarily C.J. Stroud, but some a-hole of a quarterback or a running back or somebody is going to say that at some point.
They'll still be able to do their own individual deals, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I'm saying. I think that's probably what they'll say is, well, go get your own deal.
And then this is just a bonus.
Yes. Yeah. A stipend.
Wow, but that's
$70,000 a year.
Well, they already get stipends.
Yeah.
And you're going to get people, just abusing this system. Why don't they just create a minor league? Create the minor leagues or whatever.
Then Penn State and everybody else, it's not just Penn State, but then every school becomes a two-sport school. Football, men's basketball, where the way this is trending, you do not get 31 varsity sports in Happy Valley.
Right.
Because football and men's basketball can financially support themselves. Maybe wrestling in some cases. I think Penn State could if they wrestled all their matches in the Bryce Jordan Center. But in this case, you are going to lose. Yes, that includes baseball. That includes softball. That includes hockey. All of them are gone if they had to fend for themselves. The way it was set up is so that you could have schools to have 20, 30 varsity sports.
Right.
And now you're going in a direction where they're paid employees. Well, when your employees aren't making money, aren't, meeting the bottom line, what happens? You make budget cuts.
That's so sad, and they don't need it. I understand the whole I'm putting my health on the line for the glory of the school, and the school's getting all the revenue from the parking and the tickets and all that, and I'm getting bupkis. Well, first of all, I never thought a free education was bupkis. I thought, hey, I'm not spending these tens of thousands of hundreds of thousands of dollars to get my education to better my life that these other kids have to take student loans for because I'm playing football. I always thought that was enough. And
that's valued at $200,000 plus, depending on what institution you go to. An education at Alabama, I'm not demeaning it, but I'm saying I think tuition for in-state students is about $6 to $8,000. Okay, at Penn State, that's different. It's about, what, 22, 23. It kind of changes year to year. And other schools, for example, Syracuse, are $50,000. Okay,
Right.
but when you combine a free education with free room and board, free food, free access to tutors,
Yes.
free access to medical trainers, nutritionists, people who basically manage everyday aspects of your life where you are going to either struggle or not know certain things. Like, I don't know how much I'm going to get to focus on the nutrition part of my diet, but you have a doctor that does. That's not even factored in.
Right.
When you think about it, how much would it be to rent a personal chef and a personal nutritionist and a personal tuner on your own for a year?
Exactly.
At a prestigious academic institution. That doesn't have a value on it.
And if they wanted to pay them, throw a couple $100 their way. Say here, you can go and you can
Go be a spokesperson. That's the whole point of NIL.
Right, you can do this, but now we're talking about new Bentleys. And at what point do you get that money? Are there strings attached? What if C.J. Stroud decides, you know what, screw this. I'm not working as hard. I don't need to. I've got $8 million coming my way. I got a brand new Bentley sitting outside my apartment. I don't need to do this. There are athletes who are going to strive because they want to be the best they can be.
Yep.
And they want to go down in the record books. Yeah, but there's a ton of athletes, and I don't blame them, who are going to say, why am I putting myself at risk? I've already got a couple of million in the bank. It's going to destroy sports. Flat out going to destroy sports.
Not football and men's basketball. They're safe. They're safe.
Yeah, that's.
I'll beat the doomsday drum. I will.
That is so sad. Speaking of money and big money, now golfers who are already making quite a bit of money for going out and hitting a little white ball around are making outrageous money.
Yeah, almost $5 million from the new tournament win this past weekend.
Backed by the Saudi government.
Yeah, that's yikes. That's a really slippery slope there, as far as I'm concerned. What do you think? Do you just take the money and run, or is it like
care
it's the
about
Saudis'
golf
money?
in the slightest. I don't care about any of them pampered babies.
All right,
Go
so-
golf anywhere you want. If you're in the league, you shouldn't probably golf anywhere else. I feel like if you're playing in the Major League Baseball league, you can't go play somewhere else at the same time. So I feel like there should be some rules and regulations, but I hope they all cannibalize each other and water both products down.
Okay, beer league softball. I'm a shake, and I come to you and I say,
What kind of shake? Chocolate or vanilla?
Chocolate or vanilla.
Shaken or stirred.
That's right. I say, Andy, I want you to come over and play in my league, and I'm going to pay you millions of dollars. Do you take it, even though it's Saudi money, and maybe you
And
don't
it's
agree
dirty.
with
It's
their...
dirty money. It's
Yeah.
been laundered.
Yeah. Do you still take it?
Well, I mean, I don't know. If are you playing sports for morals? I don't think most of them are. So the money's the money. I mean, you could probably say who's sponsoring and where's the money coming from some of the PGA events. Probably isn't all pristine, but I get what you're saying. I feel like there's the whizzing contest is more about one league feeling threatened by this new league, and there should be a sense of loyalty. And then now it's like, oh, of course you went and played there. You're older now. You're never going to really win again. So go make more money. And us younger guys are good. We're staying here because we can still get better.
True, but
I don't know.
The whole. Don't get me started on the PGA. They drive me crazy. Anyway, we're taking a break. It's Black Gold Breakdown with Brown and Kryder. We'd like to hear from you. 814-272-9625 on ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450.
Now, back to Black and Gold Breakdown on ESPN Radio 103.7.
All right, we're back, and it's all brought to you by the Subaru folks of Lewistown. Blaze Alexander. Don't wait to get that new Subaru you've been thinking about. Come to Blaze Subaru of Lewistown and tell them what you want. Although there aren't any new cars on the lot because they're sold by the time they arrive, you can still get what you want. The process is easy. You tell them what you want, they reserve an incoming one, or they'll order it just the way you like it. You can get a new Subaru even if you don't see it at Blaze Alexander Subaru of Lewistown. All right, Mr. Kryder is stepping out with his baby, literally, and the babe and the wife are going out, and
The babe and the baby.
he's at the babe and the baby.
Kenny Pickett has moved up the depth chart. Are you Mitch Trubisky and is he Mason Rudolph? Which way is this?
I don't know.
And then I'm Kenny Pickett because I'm the young rookie still,
right.
and
Yeah,
somebody got hurt in practice.
You're the fresh-faced kid.
Yes.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, I think he's going to be Trubisky. I'm gonna be Mason. That means I won't be around here in the next couple of months.
Don't. I hope you're not alluding to anything.
One of the rare Jordan rookie cards sold for $1.008 million. It's a record for an 86-87 Fleer Jordan. But you were telling me that there's still some out there, right?
Yeah, that's what Kryder was saying. And we should get our card expert, Jason Lord,
Yes.
who's featured on 99.5 The Bus with you. Jason would definitely have the understanding. He's been telling me he's chasing that card or just any of those older Jordan cards because the ones behind it aren't, I mean, they're not worth $1 million,
Right.
but they're worth thousands.
So it's the 86-87 Fleer series. Only 14 of 23 have been graded, so 9 are unaccounted for. And the unopened box on eBay sold for $5,000 the other day. Guy just bought it because it might be in there.
Comes in so packs of cards come in a box, and there's a chance that Michael Jordan could be inside of that. Then you go get it graded by a professional company. They look at it, they grade the corners, the positioning, the printing, the condition it's in, and give it a grade out of 10.
Right.
9 times out of 10, it's usually a 9 out of 10 because just some things, the positioning's a little off. A corner might be a little smidge. There
It's
might
ridiculous.
be something.
Yeah.
But it's out there, it's sealed away in a pack, and only 14 of them have been, and then they're registered. There's a whole database where you can go look up what cards have been graded and everything. That's how thorough this is.
That is just
When it was graded, how it was graded, who it was graded by, all that stuff.
That's something. You could have that much money.
They've made millions of dollars just looking at cards and saying, yep, this is nice. This looks pretty nice.
Speaking of that, I saw a meme today. And it's a picture of Scottie Pippen and Jordan laughing hysterically. And it said, LeBron James has scored the most points in Game 7 in NBA history. What's a Game 7?
Yeah.
Which was great. They're like, Michael Jordan didn't need a Game 7 for crying out loud. They took care of things by that. But anyway, and we've got to suck up to Kryder and say that his Florida Gators won both the men's and the women's outdoor track and field championships. So congratulations to the Florida Gators. Okay, that's good. We said it. Kryder, be happy now.
I'd like to visit Florida and take the show on the road, and we can do this from Florida.
Oh, there's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kryder, you listening? Make that happen for us, all right? 814-272-9625. That's the number to call. We'd love to hear from you as we come back with Black and Gold Breakdown. Brown and Kryder and the Zach Man on ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450.
Now, back to Black and Gold Breakdown on ESPN Radio 103.7.
Yes, indeed, we're back, and it's brought to you by Blaze Alexander Subaru in Lewistown. If you haven't seen any new Subarus, there's a reason for it, because as soon as they get in, boom, they're out. Everybody's going in and ordering the Subaru just the way they want it, and then when it comes in, they drive it away. You can get a new Subaru even if you don't see it at Blaze Alexander Subaru of Lewistown, taking the deals the other guys won't. All right, last week you did Ask Kryder. I'm combining the two of us, and that's a frightening thought. So I guess we're going to play Ask Brown this time around.
It's a variation of our favorite game show on Black and Gold Breakdown.
Hit me.
So when I asked both of you together, we've asked which newcomer you're most excited about, biggest rookie impact. Do you want Minkah Fitzpatrick on a market-setting deal? Do you want Deontay Johnson back on his asking price? Would you re-sign Antonio Brown to play for the Steelers again after everything that he's done? I think this is where we left off. Who is one player that will break out for the Steelers in 2022? And I asked Kryder this last week.
One player, I think George Pickens will do it. He's got all the talent, all the skills. If he hadn't been hurt, he would have been a higher draft choice than what he was. He's going to be a steal for the Steelers, and he's going to break out.
I like that. Biggest threat to the Steelers' divisional success, the Ravens, the Browns, or the Bengals? Kryder said anybody but the Browns.
Well, the Browns, like I said before, they played themselves into a corner now, and man, they got to be nervous. They got to be nervous, and I should respect Baltimore more than I do because they always seem to come up with what they need. But yeah, the Bengals won the division last year. I don't think it was a fluke, and they got stronger. So yeah.
I agree. You have Joe Burrow. Why were the Steelers so successful and dominated the division the way they did for the past, I've lost count, let's just say a dozen years, right?
That's right.
Even though Ben's been in the league longer. Dominating the division, it's because they had Ben Roethlisberger. When you have that franchise quarterback, everything else falls into place. Joe Burrow's that. Lamar Jackson's still unsigned. And the Browns are the Browns. Thank you, Juju.
Now, again, we go back to this again. If you are the Ravens, what are you waiting for? I mean, you know what you've got. Do you really think he's not good enough for the money? If you don't think he's not good enough for the money, man, that sends a bad message to him, and you're messing with his juju there. And if you do think he's worth the money, you're just screwing with the team chemistry. Just pay him. It's the same thing as Minka. Just you're going to pay him anyway, so pay him now. I don't get it.
I see Lamar Jackson possibly getting injured again. That's also what I see. And then it's kind of the same thing with Deshaun the Why is his, the $43 million? That's a big deal because he's not on the field. It's for obviously different reasons.
Right.
But when you're paying that much for a quarterback that's not on the field, Lamar Jackson missed a bulk of last season. Not every game, but he was in and out, and then he missed the end of the season. Do you want to be out $40+ million when your running quarterback is going to put himself in harm's way? So we're all in consensus here. The Bengals. We'll probably finish on this one with 2 minutes left. Do the Steelers make it to the Super Bowl in the next 5 years? Kryder says no.
Oh, next 5 years.
5 years. That gives. I think that gives Kenny Pickett plenty of time. Not 2, not 3, 5.
If Kenny Pickett is the Kenny Pickett we hope. Freiermuth is only going to get better. Najee's only going to get better. They can still have time to tinker with the offensive line. I don't see why they couldn't make it within 5 years. They're not making it this coming year.
No.
And probably not the next year. But within 5, sure, why not? I think it'll be wide open. And who knows what else is happening in the league with all the quarterbacks and the unrest and quarterbacks moving here and there. We don't have any idea what the league's going to look like in 5 years.
I'm going to go back to the problem here. It's the Bengals kind of standing in the way.
Yeah.
You have to face them twice a year. You're going to have to face the Ravens twice a year. Whatever decision they make, Lamar Jackson or not, they're well run. I hate to say it. They draft very well.
Oh, yes.
They will draft another quarterback if they decide to move on from Lamar Jackson and tailor the offense to that specific individual.
Yep.
So you got to play that team 4 times, and then that brings down your record plus all the other good teams that are in the AFC. I mean, the AFC is loaded with quarterbacks by itself.
Yeah.
The NFC, I can name Matt Stafford, Tom Brady, and Aaron Rodgers.
For the Steelers,
and that's about it.
For the Steelers, they got to get into the playoffs, and if they get into the playoffs, hope other teams start banging out some of the the Bengals and the Ravens and stuff like that, so they don't have to face them in the playoffs. But, I don't know. Tough road to hoe. I'm not a big fan of Omar Khan's chances right now.
In the Super Bowl era, I saw this info stat today. The Steelers are tied for the most playoff wins in the Super Bowl era at 36. Guess who's tied with them?
Who?
Patriots.
Hey, I like that.
Most playoff wins in the Super Bowl era.
Everybody's talking about the Patriots. Steelers are right there with them. Hey, this has been Black and Gold Breakdown with Brown and Kryder. Thanks for listening. We're back Tuesday at 5 on ESPN Radio 103.7 and 1450.
We could talk about the Steelers all night on Black and Gold Breakdown, but we've got to cover some other sports as well. Thanks for listening, and remember, you can catch the guys every Tuesday night at 5 p.m. on ESPN Radio 103.7.